Ladies and gentlemen, it's an afternoon shot, but it's an afternoon shot for a reason. And that's, I feel like I need to crack out the popcorn. Like some of the stuff going on in the media at the moment is just hilarious. In fact, grab a coffee and enjoy. But before we do, can I just again remind you, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you really want to support the work that I do here, welcome to Buy Me a Coffee. Then I'm having a coffee and it's for you who sponsored me a coffee. Anyway, I'd love another one. In any case, let's get on to the main news story. And this actually revolves around the US appointment of its new ambassador, Mr. Portrayal III. As I said in my last video, when a person has a number next to their name, you know they're serious. But in any case, this nomination has become really interesting because of the South African reaction to it. Now, the individual that's been nominated is apparently the founder of Media Research Center, and his job in the United States was to expose fake news and hypocrisies in the media. According to Trump, he had a fearless tenacity, the vast knowledge and experience, which he says his nation desperately needs. So for those of you who don't know, Mr. Portrayal, when he was first appointed, he was actually first appointed as the media czar for Trump. Well, now he's the ambassador. And it's interesting because, as I said during my reaction to the announcement that this individual would be our new ambassador, I did say that I felt that the reason for this is because, well, Trump is hearing a lot of stuff. He's hearing a lot of stuff from one side, the right-wingers, you know, the ones that are apparently telling him that a lot of things are happening in South Africa, such as large-scale land invasions. Land invasions are happening, but they're not happening in the Zimbabwean way. And a lot of these land invasions are crimes of opportunity. Sometimes these crimes are being led by actual police officers. And I did a video on that the other day around one of the land invasions which Ian Cameron responded to. But are they happening all across the country wholesale? The answer is no, they're not. Is property being expropriated everywhere wholesale? No, it's not. Are they going to come after your house in Sandton? No, they really aren't. We've also heard the reactions that there's a lot of violence against ethnic minorities. And I would say, dude, there's a lot of violence against everybody in South Africa. South Africa is a violent country. Is it specifically being targeted to white individuals? Well, maybe only insofar as many white individuals actually have something worth stealing. So that's why they may be disproportionately affected by the crime. But the nuances between the statistics and the way that they're portrayed to the Trump team isn't always pushed forward in that manner. And there's a reason for that. And that's because when you want to highlight the worst excesses of a potential nation could commit, you talk in the most extreme positions because you want people to take you seriously. Even if the most extreme positions aren't actually the reality of the matter right now, that doesn't mean that there won't be that form of reality tomorrow, which is why you always highlight the worst possible excesses. And this obviously has led the media to come to the defense of the South African government wholesale. They come into the defense going, these guys are all lying and they're all exaggerating. And there is a degree that they are exaggerating, but only for political polemic. They're doing it to make a point. But it doesn't mean that the potential isn't there for it to get to that stage. And it also doesn't mean that crime and expropriation and land grabs are not occurring at all, because there are some instances of this being the truth. So there's a halfway house, and it's a balancing act. And the whole reason for appointing Mr. Brent is that the idea is, being an individual who's an activist, he's used to dealing with the media, he can balance that act. He can see through the bull rubbish, and he can make an informed decision on what he thinks is actually going to be the case. And that's why I said during my reaction video to this, it was like, well, actually, it's a very logical step, and it's a very smart one. But in typical fashion, the EFF can't help but be the EFF, and they are so funny. Now, before we mention what the EFF said, we should probably note that Freedom From Plus said that, this nomination was brilliant. They said that if Mr. Portrayal is accepted as a nomination, then they'd love to go have a meeting with him and chat to him about South Africa. And other people have obviously already been making the memes around Joel Pollock crying us a river because he didn't get the job. And as I said, I think one of the reasons he didn't get the job is he was already too vocal about South Africa, even before the appointment was made, which would have meant that had he got the position, many individuals would have argued that his political position was already compromised. Now, Mr. Bozell doesn't have any of that. He's never made an utterance about South Africa, ever. He's a media czar. His claim to fame is that he understands the propaganda that goes on the media. And so the EFF's response to this is just hilarious, because they called his appointment provocative and a hostile nomination. Apparently, they said that the founder of Media Research Center was not a mere diplomat. So he wasn't just a normal diplomatic appointment. He was not a real diplomat. Apparently, it was a calculated act of aggression, a blatant declaration of war against the sovereignty, dignity, and the aspirations of the South African people, says the party that gets 6% of the vote. I mean, they definitely know the aspirations of the people with 6% of the vote. Anyway, he says that it is clear that Trump, through his appointment, has no intention of mending the already strained relations between our nations, but instead seeks to deepen the divide and impose his imperialist agenda on our soil. Yes, these guys need help. There's like delusions of grandeur. These guys are just so retarded. And Fikile Mbalula was asked what he thought of this, and he says it's not for him to actually respond to it. And it's so nice to see Fikile actually shut up for a change, because he's so used to saying stupid things. In any case, he says it's Durko's responsibility. He says if the diplomatic processes are followed, they have to accept the nomination. It's not for them to tell the United States who they can nominate. And the DA said, why are you asking us to get involved in this? It's the internal affairs of another country. It's got nothing to do with us. Not the EFF. Yep, blatant declaration of war. Jeez, these guys are retarded. I don't know how they get 6% of the votes. Anyway, it's just my view. Please do let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until tomorrow, bye.